How's it going, my peeps? It is now time for the Royal Rumble 2014 results / highlights and review video. I'll go over the results, some of the highlights in my opinion, and give you guys my thoughts, my review on this show. So it kicks off, of course, with the kickoff. And on the kickoff panel this time, how many times have I said kickoff already? I don't know. Anyways, kickoff panel was, you had Shawn Michaels, Ric Flair, and also Hacksaw Jim Duggan along with Josh Matthews. As always, they go over every single match, give their picks for, who they think is going to win. And then after that, backstage you saw Del Rio, R-Truth, the Real Americans, the Great Khali, Kofi Kingston, all of them picked their numbers for the Rumble. Del Rio looks like he got a good pick. We didn't see which number they got, but you saw the reaction to it. Del Rio seemed like he got a good pick, and he said he was going to eliminate everybody, including the Animal, Batista. And Kofi Kingston got a number, seemed like it was an okay number, but could be better. R-Truth, I think he didn't get a good number. Great Khali, same with the Khali. The Real Americans, they both, I guess, got a good number. Antonio Cesaro did. Jack Swagger got a number that wasn't as good. And then Damien Sandow was laughing at Khali for getting a bad number, and then he picked his number, and it looks like he got a bad number, an even worse number, because Khali was laughing at him. Afterwards, you had the tag team title match, Cody Rhodes and Goldust versus Billy Gunn and Road Dogg. The match lasted maybe 7-8 minutes or so. It was a fun match for the time it got, I thought. And, in the beginning, Road Dogg and Billy Gunn, they did their usual, thing where they hype up the crowd, and then, the suck it chant and everything. And crowd was cheering for them, actually, so they didn't get booed or anything. And then, as far as the match goes and how it ended, in the end of the match, you had Road Dogg, Jesse James, going for the pump handle slam. He goes for that, but Cody counters it into Crossroad, and then he actually hits it. He hits Crossroads, goes for the cover, and at that point, I'm thinking, oh shit, looks like he's actually gonna win. Cody and Goldust are gonna retain. But Billy Gunn comes in and breaks up the pin. Then after that, he goes back into his corner on the apron. Goldust grabs him, tries to take him off the apron, but Billy Gunn actually kind of spears or shoves Goldust towards the barricade, onto the barricade. And then he goes back on the apron and tags himself in, which Cody doesn't see. So Cody then goes for a disaster kick on Road Dogg. He hits it, but, of course, since Billy Gunn tagged himself in, he quickly gets in the ring, hits the fameasser on Cody, covers him, wins the match for his team. So the new Age Outlaws are the new Tag Team Champions of the world. So now they're 6-time Tag Team Champions. And JBL noted on commentary, if they were to win the Tag Team titles, then that would be the longest time in between reigns in history. So, after that, they hype up the rest of the matches a bit more, and then they announced that the first match on the main card would be Daniel Bryan versus Bray Wyatt, as I predicted. So, yeah, moving on to Daniel Bryan versus Bray Wyatt. Daniel Bryan comes out to a huge pop, everybody chanting yes. And then, of course, following Bryan was Bray Wyatt. And as far as the match goes, guys, if you thought the match wasn't going to be all that great or whatever, this match was freaking amazing. This match far exceeded my expectations. Awesome match. And it just had great spots. Everything was great about the match. In the beginning, you had Daniel Bryan dominating the matchup, getting some payback. Afterwards, it was Bray Wyatt dominating Daniel Bryan. Then finally, Daniel Bryan gets some momentum back. You had Daniel Bryan getting some momentum, but then bam, Bray Wyatt stops his momentum with a freaking running crossbody. And, you had the Hurricane Rana from the top turnbuckle. Daniel Bryan even hit a cool-ass tornado DDT from the apron to the outside onto Bray Wyatt. You also had Daniel Bryan locking on the yes lock, but Bray Wyatt started biting Daniel Bryan's stump to get out of it, and then he started punching him. And in the end of the match, this is how the match ended. Daniel Bryan goes for the suicide dive on the outside to Bray Wyatt. Bray Wyatt catches him, and then he freaking sets him up for Sister Abigail, hits it on the barricade. That was a freaking cool, spot right there where he catches Daniel Bryan when he's trying to do a suicide dive, hits Sister Abigail on the barricade, and then he just grabs him, picks him up, throws him into the ring, or rolls him into the ring, goes in the ring, hits another Sister Abigail, covers him, and wins the match. It was truly a great match. Afterwards, Renee Young interviewed Paul Heyman, and he talked about Brock Lesnar in his match with the Big Show, and how since, he's going to be facing off against this giant of tremendous strength, this and that, he's going to have to destroy him. So, then moving on to the match of Brock versus Big Show. Before the match even begun, Brock Lesnar, right away, once he got in the ring, attacked the Big Show, took him down. He grabbed the steel chair and started hitting the Big Show with the chair like a couple times while Big Show was down. 10 times or so. He would stop for a while and then go back, hit him with the chair again. Referee would stop him and then he would go back, hit him with the chair again. At some point, the referee even grabbed the chair from Brock. But then Paul Heyman gave Brock another chair, so Brock grabbed that and kept hitting him with the steel chair. And then eventually, Big Show kind of recovered, and he accepted to go on with the matchup, telling the referee to start the match. So they start the match, right? And Brock still has his steel chair, but as far as I know, this isn't a no disqualification match. So he tries to hit Big Show once again with the steel chair, but this time Big Show catches him with the KO punch, with the WND. He hits it, and Brock falls down, but he isn't knocked out. He's down, but not knocked out. He's still crawling, and he's kind of dizzy. He doesn't know kind of where he is or whatever. And the Big Show can't really capitalize on it and go for the cover because he's still banged up from all those steel chair shots to the back and in his arm. So, he doesn't go for the cover, and he's kind of far away from Brock. Brock rolls out the ring. Big Show follows him, eventually puts him back in the ring. And the match doesn't last long at all. The match was maybe 3 minutes long or so. I don't even remember most of the match because it was so freaking quick. And I think once he got him back in the ring, I do remember Big Show going for the knockout punch once again. But Brock Lesnar ducked, and then he picked him up for the F5, hit the F5, covered him, and won the match. It was that quick. That was pretty much the entire matchup. And after the match, Brock takes off his gloves, he kind of gets out of the ring, but he grabs a steel chair once again, and once again he goes back in the ring, hits Big Show with a bunch of chair shots, hits a Big Show with a bunch of chair shots on the outside of the ring as well, and this was probably the largest amount of steel chair shots to one person I've ever seen in an entire segment in my history of watching WWE. To just one person, that is, I think, the most amount of chair shots I've seen. It was 40 chair shots or something like that total, including both the chair shots before the match and after the match. I'm thinking maybe the reason why the match was so short was maybe because of that rumored injury that I heard Big Show got injured in the house show. He suffered a hand injury. I'm not sure if that's legend or not, but maybe that's the reason. Either way, I didn't expect the match to be long. I was expecting it to be maybe 8 minutes long or something like that, but this was even shorter than I expected. This was 3 minutes, maybe not even 3 minutes, maybe 2 minutes. Anyways, after that match, we get a Shield promo. The Shield cutting a promo on the Rumble, saying that they're going to be winning the Rumble, and saying that how they've been dominant and, through their path or whatever, they haven't made too many friends, and at the Rumble, they're looking at 27 enemies. And they say they're going to eliminate every single one of them until it's just the 3 of them left. And at some point, Roman Reigns says that, he's pretty confident that he's got the winning number. And then Dean Ambrose, tells him, oh, really, what's your number? And then Roman Reigns, doesn't really want to say his number. And then Dean Ambrose tells him, what if I tell you my number? Will you tell me your number? Roman Reigns says, sounds good. But then Dean Ambrose is like, no, are you crazy? I'm not even going to tell you my number. You don't even know if I have maybe 2 numbers. And then Reigns is like, nobody has 2 numbers. And then Seth Rollins kind of, steps in and is like, calm down, guys. And they end the promo by saying, believe in the Shield. After that, it's Renee Young interviewing Randy about his matchup. Not only that, but also asking him about how he feels that, everybody's after him. Brock's after him, Batista's after him, everybody. And, Randy goes over some of his I guess, challengers or, people that could be competing against him in the future. And he goes over Bray Wyatt and makes fun of him, actually takes a shot at Bray Wyatt. He calls him a Duck Dynasty reject. But anyways, he actually states that, anybody in his position would have, everybody gunning for him. After that, they show WrestleMania 30 promo, and then they hype up the matchup, the championship match between John Cena and Randy with a video package, and then Randy makes his entrance, followed by John Cena for the championship match. And it was a pretty long match. You had Randy hitting the RKO, Cena kicking out, you had John Cena hitting the Attitude Adjustment, and Randy kicked out as well. You also had them, I guess, switch finishers, where Randy actually hit the Attitude Adjustment. I don't think he's ever done that before. And Randy hit an RKO. I'm not sure if... Cena hit an RKO, my bad. So, yeah. Cena hit an RKO, Randy hit an Attitude Adjustment. Cena kicked out, though, and so did Randy. Cena locked on the SCF a couple of times in the matchup. Also, Randy did lock on the SCF as well, so he also copied that or stole that. Now, when Cena had Randy in the SCF the first time, Randy tapped out. And the referee, though, was down. He was taken down, and because of that, he didn't see the tap out, so match still went on. John Cena eventually let go, and it was all like, oh shit, the referee's down, what do I do? And he checked on the referee. While he checks on the referee, Randy's like, alright, let me go out the ring, let me just grab this championship right here. And then he goes back in the ring and hits Cena with the title. Then the referee eventually wakes up, and he goes for the count, or, goes to count the count, but John Cena kicks out. And I think it's after that, actually, that they copy their finisher, so I kind of went backwards here, or, didn't go exactly, or didn't talk about the matchup in, the order it went, but, yeah. Anyways, towards the end of the match, you had John Cena locking on the SCF once again, and this time, Randy was crawling towards the ropes. He was about to grab the ropes, but Cena pulls him back, away from the ropes, puts it back on, and then all of a sudden, the Wyatt family signal sets off, or, whatever that signal is, or that like, half-second video or whatever. That sets off, and then you get the lights turning off, and when the lights come back on, you've got the Wyatt family surrounding the ring, and then John Cena quickly gets up, and he punches Bray Wyatt. I'm not sure if he punched also Eric Rowan and Luke Harper, if they just got off the apron. And then once he turns around, RKO, Randy covers him and wins the match. After the match, Randy actually gets out of the ring through the crowd. He doesn't get out of the ring and leave through the ramp, because that's where the Wyatt family is. So he leaves through the crowd to avoid the Wyatt family. And then Bray Wyatt, Eric Rowan, and Luke Harper decide to go in the ring, where they decimate John Cena, assault John Cena, clothesline, body splash, everything. And then they grab John Cena up for Bray Wyatt, who hits Sister Abigail on John Cena. And that was it for that. So it definitely seems like they're setting up for Bray Wyatt versus John Cena at WrestleMania 30. After that, they show a couple of replays of it, and John Cena eventually gets up, and his music hits, and he leaves. And then Renee Young interviews the New Age Outlaws, and they replay their title victory on the kickoff show. And, they talk about it, and then they say they're going to go to a party, and Renee Young is not invited. And Road Dogg tells Billy Gunn to tell her the 2 words, and he says, Billy Gunn says, new champs. After that, they hype up the Rumble match with a video showing a couple superstars saying they're going to win the Rumble. You had The Miz, you had Rey Mysterio, Big E Langston, who else? You had Batista, although Batista really didn't say much. I didn't actually hear what he said. He said like a word or something, and that was it. And I think that was it. CM Punk didn't say anything. You didn't see CM Punk there. Anyways, afterwards, they show the panel, Superstar panel, or Legends panel, and they talk about who they think is going to win the Rumble. Shawn Michaels says The Shield, and he says, since he's picking The Shield, he's got, a bigger chance of being right, because there's 3 members of The Shield. And Hacksaw Jim Duggan says he thinks Dolph Ziggler's in the Rumble. And at that point, I was like, oh, wait a minute. So is Dolph in the Rumble? Or not? I don't know. But Ric Flair, he picked Batista. Anyways, the 30-man Royal Rumble match. First off, I'm going to give you guys the list of entrants and where they entered, so their entry number. First one, obviously, CM Punk. Number 2, Seth Rollins, and then afterwards it was Damien Sandow. Number 4, Cody Rhodes. 5, Kane. He didn't last too long in the match. 6, Alexander Rusev. I guess he's somebody from NXT, so that was his first appearance on pay-per-view. You had Jack Swagger at number 7, Kofi Kingston number 8, who, by the way, pulled off not one, but 2 of those spots where he saves himself from elimination. And number 9, you had Jimmy Uso. 10, Goldust. 11, Dean Ambrose. 12, Dolph Ziggler. 13, R-Truth. 14 was actually Kevin Nash returning, and they actually billed him as Kevin Nash rather than Diesel this time. And number 15, Roman Reigns. 16, The Great Khali. 17, Sheamus. 18, The Miz. 19, Fandango. Actually, let me re-say that. Fandango. Then you had, actually, number 20, El Torito. Yeah, you actually had El Torito in the match. Number 21, Antonio Cesaro. 22, Luke Harper. 23, Jey Uso. 24, try and guess who it was. Anyways, it was JBL. He didn't last long in the matchup either. 25, Eric Rowan. 26, Ryback. 27, Alberto Del Rio. 28 was Batista. 29 was Big E Langston. And number 30 was Rey Mysterio. And you guys remember how in one of the Rumbles, I think it was Royal Rumble 2012, Big Show came out as entrant number 30. That was kind of like the same thing, where it was a big disappointment. To me, it wasn't a disappointment because it was Rey Mysterio. It was more so the fact that meant Daniel Bryan was not in the Rumble match. Now, of course, I know Daniel Bryan wasn't announced for the match. It wasn't confirmed or anything, so I wasn't really expecting Daniel Bryan. I tried to not get my hopes up, but I still wanted to, I guess, get proven wrong, and I wanted to see Daniel Bryan in the Rumble, enter the Rumble, win the matchup, and I think the crowd felt the same way, because after number 29, after Big E Langston, the crowd was chanting, Daniel Bryan, Daniel Bryan, and I think they might have been chanting it actually before that. And actually, I just remembered, they were actually chanting it in the Randy versus John Cena match. They were chanting a lot of things in that matchup, which I forgot to mention. Actually, they were chanting Daniel Bryan, they were chanting We Want Divas, they were chanting This Is Awful, they were chanting a lot of things. Anyways, going back to the Rumble here. What was I even saying? I was talking about Daniel Bryan in the Rumble, and yeah, the crowd, once number 30 was announced as Rey Mysterio, man, the crowd started just booing, practically the entire matchup, the crowd was booing. They cheered a couple times, and towards the end of the matchup, which I'll get to in a few moments, but yeah, the crowd did not like that, and there was still some Daniel Bryan chants. Obviously, the crowd wanted to see Daniel Bryan in the Royal Rumble match. So, anyways, how did the match go? Who eliminated who? This and that. Well, first things first, big news. Roman Reigns actually surpassed Kane's record of 11 eliminations. He eliminated 12 superstars, including Seth Rollins and Dean Ambrose. And so yeah, that's pretty big for Roman Reigns. Not only that, but he was part of the Final Four. He was a part of the Final Three. He was a part of the Final Two. Basically, you get it. You get the point. He was, part of the Final Two, and he was the last one to be eliminated from the matchup. Well, anyways, what you guys probably want to know, highlights of the match. Kofi Kingston, like I said, he saved himself from elimination twice. Eventually, he got eliminated, but, like I said, saved himself from elimination twice. First time around, the way it worked is, somebody pushed Kofi was on the apron. Somebody pushed him off, and so he landed onto Alexander Rusev. If I'm saying it right. Anyway, so he lands on him. Alexander kind of catches him in a fall-away slam position, and he then puts him on the barricade and starts punching him a couple times. And then eventually, once Alexander leaves, Kofi's still on the barricade, laying down on the barricade. So he gets up, and then he's up on the barricade, and he doesn't know what to do here. And keep in mind, it's a pretty long distance from the barricade to the ring. And this is the barricade that's like right next to the entrance when a superstar makes their entrance. It's the one on the right side. And so Kofi is standing on the barricade, and he decides actually to jump. He jumps from the barricade onto the apron, and he makes it. I was surprised at that jump, actually, because last time when he was on the announcer's table, I think the distance wasn't as long, and instead of jumping, he decided to use, the chair. Anyway, second time around, he was about to get eliminated by Jack Swagger. His back was on the floor, but his feet were inside the ring, and they were hanging on the bottom rope. So then he's actually grabbing onto Jack Swagger's leg while Jack Swagger's trying to eliminate him. And then he grabs Jack Swagger's boot. He holds on to it. Jack Swagger then tries to attack him or something like that. But Kofi Kingston hits him in the head with the boot and then gets back in the ring. You also had Goldust actually accidentally eliminate Cody. I think it was going for somebody else, but Cody was behind that person on the apron, I believe. And then he took him out of the ring, or eliminated him by accident, by mistake, and then right after, Roman Reigns eliminated Goldust. So Cody got eliminated, and then right after, Goldust. Speaking of Reigns and his eliminations, he eliminated Kofi Kingston, Dolph Ziggler, Nash, Khali, Luke Harper, Goldust, El Torito, JBL, Cesaro, Rollins, Ambrose, and Sheamus. Now, if you're wondering why he eliminated, his two teammates, reason for that is Ambrose actually decided or tried to eliminate Roman Reigns at some point in the match. But Reigns actually got, held on and, wasn't eliminated as Ambrose tried to do. So then right after Ambrose, Seth Rollins kind of, backs Ambrose away, and then him and Ambrose go and try to eliminate somebody else. I don't remember who that person was. It might have been, it was Antonio Cesaro. So both Seth Rollins and Ambrose try and eliminate Cesaro, and then Reigns gets up and he eliminates all three of them. And then he kind of looks at Ambrose, kind of yells at him, and then he shakes his head. Oh, so what else happened? Oh yeah, speaking of Cesaro, he did do the swing. He did the big swing to... He did it to CM Punk, I think. He did it to Seth Rollins, and... That might have been it. I'm not sure. You also had, when El Torito came in, he delivered a couple Hurricane Ranas to, a couple superstars, even CM Punk. But in the end, Reigns eliminated him. He grabbed him in like a military press and threw him out of the ring. Fandango tried it first, though. He grabbed El Torito, military press, tried to throw him over the top rope, but El Torito countered it and eliminated Fandango. And also... When Kane came in the matchup, he really didn't last too long. He got in, I think it was at number 4. Right away, he went after Punk. And CM Punk attacked him, or, fought back, and then eventually eliminated him. Really, Kane lasted maybe a minute. And towards the end, when it was down to the final 4. By the way, when Sheamus came in, I was actually excited when Sheamus returned. He went right after the Shield. At that point... It was the Shield in the ring and CM Punk, just down to CM Punk and the Shield. So when he came in, he went right after the Shield, and he actually took out all 3 of them. But eventually, the Shield got back, their advantage. In the end, it was down to Sheamus, Roman Reigns, Batista, and CM Punk. Now, here's where CM Punk gets eliminated, and it's down to 3. In the end, you had... Batista delivered a spinebuster to Reigns. And then Sheamus delivered a bro kick to Batista. After that, I think CM Punk kicked Sheamus in the head, and then he delivered a go to sleep to Reigns. And then right after, Kane comes out of nowhere, he grabs CM Punk and throws him out of the ring. And then he takes off the announcer's table and everything on it and delivers a chokeslam through the announcer's table. At that point, I was pretty happy that I was right, because I had told you guys that I thought Kane would eliminate CM Punk. And when he got eliminated so early in the matchup, I thought, looks like, I was wrong, I guess. But then he came back and eliminated Punk. So, Once it was down to Sheamus, Reigns, and Batista, eventually Reigns eliminated Sheamus. And then it was down, of course, to Batista and Reigns. And at that point, the crowd was still booing. But when Reigns would get some offense in, when Reigns would take down Batista, the crowd would cheer. And at that point, I was rooting for Reigns as well. I was hoping Reigns would win the matchup, and he actually hit a spear on Batista. But also Batista, I think he hit the spear first, although Batista's spear was kind of off a little bit. But then afterwards, Reigns delivered a spear to Batista. And, at that point, although I was pretty sure Batista was going to win, I thought that maybe Reigns had a chance. He had a slight chance of winning. Of course, not as big of a chance as Batista. And in the end, Roman Reigns grabs Batista. He goes to throw him over the top rope, but Batista turns it around and instead throws Reigns over the top rope and wins the Royal Rumble. So that's it. Batista then celebrates, and the crowd boos. I'm telling you guys, the crowd definitely wanted Daniel Bryan to be in the match, to win the Rumble, and I agree completely. I also wanted Daniel Bryan to be in the match and win the match. I think it would have set up the perfect rematch for the championship, Randy versus Daniel Bryan at WrestleMania, where Bryan finally gets, his championship shot, finally gets the title back from Randy after, Randy cashing it in on Daniel Bryan after his match against John Cena, after being stripped of the title because of the, quick counts. And afterwards, after, Shawn Michaels superkicked him in that Hell in a Cell match, which allowed Randy to beat Daniel Bryan and win the championship. I think it would have been a perfect scenario, perfect matchup. But, Batista won. While I did predict Batista to win, and while he did win, and I'm happy about that, the fact that, I got the prediction right, but I would have been even happier if I got it wrong and Daniel Bryan, won the match. This would have been, like, the match where I would have loved to be proven wrong, got the prediction wrong. I went with Batista because I thought, I was trying to be realistic, because Daniel Bryan wasn't confirmed for the match. He wasn't announced. So going with Daniel Bryan wasn't as logical as going with Batista, who's confirmed to be in the match. He's making his big return. This is his first match back. But speaking of Bryan, he put on what I thought was the match of the night tonight. It was a great match. A lot better than I expected. The finish was cool. Just the entire match was cool. And as far as the other matches, Brock versus Big Show, I can't even rate that match, to be honest with you guys. It was like a minute or 2 minutes. I don't know. It was so short. Most of the time, most of the segment was just Brock, attacking Big Show with his steel chair before and after the match. But, I do understand that this might be because Big Show might be injured. If that is, indeed true, then I understand why they had such a short matchup. But the way that match ended and what followed and what was also before the match, it leaves me wondering if they're going to have a rematch. If Big Show will want payback and eventually get a rematch against, Brock Lesnar, maybe at the Elimination Chamber, something like that. And when it comes to Randy versus John Cena, that match, if I were to give actually I don't give ratings for just a match, but to be honest, I can't say I really enjoyed that match. The match that really, like I said, stole the show was definitely Bray Wyatt versus Daniel Bryan, and following that would be the Rumble matchup, because, despite the winner, I always like the Rumble. And that's pretty much, I think, all I gotta say. And if I were to give a rating for the 2014 Royal Rumble, I'd give it a 6 to a 6.5 on 10. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and if you did, as always, you can click that like button down below. I'd really appreciate it. And in the comment section below, I'd like to hear from you guys. What did you think about the show? What did you think was the match of the night? Which match did you like the most? And if you were to give a rating for the show, what would that rating be? With that said, I'm out, guys. See ya.